Well, hello, goddesses, and welcome to Goddesses Well Lab. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Jasmine, and in today's episode, I want to share my story with you. Not the polished version, not the highlight reels, and you always see those perfect lives. And so I want to tell you my real journey. They started 5 years ago, first of all, but even longer than that when I came here to United States. I came here from South America, and my brothers went to college here. But I know that whenever we came here, we were set up a example for not only my cousins but the people from our countries. And I say countries because we came from different countries. We grew up in different countries thanks to my father's job. And I consider myself Texan. I consider myself Peruvian. I consider myself Paraguayan. Those are the three countries that we basically grew up a little bit. But when we came here, we knew that it was a responsibility too, because we wanted to make sure not only we give a great example to those in my country, but also the ones here, especially in the academics. My brothers, both of them went to college here in Texas, and I knew from the beginning the expectations of becoming a role model was very, very clear. And I remember being also very excited because all my shows, my favorite shows in that time was from here. And it was completely different of how we lived down there. As far as school, I went to a Navy school. And over here, I went to a public school. And I remember I thought that it's going to be kind of like Saved by the Bell, and just the fact that you can wear your own clothes was actually really exciting to me. But also the responsibility of school academics was very clear that I will have to basically complete it to not only have good grades but excel in everything that I do. But I think even though my family always supported everything that I do, it was my responsibility. I always want to be a little bit better version of myself at all times. And that's one of also the reasons why I started Goddesses Lab, because I knew that I meant for something better, something more than just being an accountant. I graduated as an accountant and I have my MBA as well. But I remember clearly also when I started to be an accountant, I will feel that I need to, what is the next step is always been my, always looking for the future, always looking for be a better version of myself. And if you talk to any of my colleagues, any of my mentors, that's exactly what they're going to tell you. That I always looking forward, and even whenever I don't feel that I did well in something, when you're in college and you think that because you didn't do well in one test, the life is over. In my case was no, what did I do wrong? And let's move forward. It's always been like that in also my relationships with my girlfriends, with our guy friends, my families, my dad. I have an incredible family. I cannot ask for a better childhood, better teenager years, and adulthood because of my parents. And if I have to do it again, I will do it exactly the same way because all the lessons put me into where I am right now. I am in West Virginia, which for me, even I have traveled around and been in different places. I already consider myself West Virginian. The people are so amazing, so lovely. I cannot even explain. Even when you go to, I did remember when I was doing my ID, the excitement of the ladies. I was very excited, but the ladies that helped me were also very excited. We even take pictures. I start crying all because it was a very special moment, and the people over here always supported, so beautiful in everything they do. So now let's start with how I became a Goddesses Lab owner. Goddesses Lab started with my dream to, as I mentioned before, to do something better, to have a additional income for myself, for things that I like to do, like traveling. I love traveling. I love to have my nails done. I'm not going to lie. I love it, love it, love it. And I wanted to just have an income that I can rely for those things that are extra. And that's how it started. It also started because I wanted to actually head towards being a full time business owner. And I knew I need to start somewhere. So that's how I started. And it started with that in mind, that I was a goddess, and this is a lab trying to construct the best version of myself. And that's how I see it in everything that I do. And I wish that all my clients get that when they get crystals. They feel beautiful, they feel that confidence. So for me, that's how I started. My love for crystal started since I was a little girl. My grandmother was a collector of everything. She will have even collection of matches. Yes, there are matches in that time. Not how you call it, lighters, but this one were matches. She will collect rocks, collect shells, seashells. So naturally was I knew that it's going to be something that I will be passionate about, that I can talk about all day long. And crystal is definitely one of those. But in that time, there is not that many ladies like myself that are selling crystals. But not just selling crystals, but also a meaningful business, in the sense that not just a product to sell it. I went even a little bit farther and get myself certified as a crystal practitioner, and also an advanced crystal practitioner, which for me was one of the best and most amazing things that I did. And I thank my mentors all the way, my crystal practitioners that have helped me to this profession that I really, really love. I love it, love it, love it. But I always been a business owner in my mind. I always remember selling, for instance, album stickers so I can get New Kids on the Block posters. I did babysitting, tutoring Spanish, tutoring math. Yes, I love math. When I was growing up, I remember even wrapping all the formulas for extra credit. I was one of those that I would like to do the best version of myself at all time. But I always been a business owner. And for those that are from South America, knows that when you're a teenager, it's not very common that you will to go to work or to, seeking to work, perhaps. But in my mind, I think that was always my thing. I wanted to do something not only different from others, but something that I can be proud of myself. So the business, I guess, bug was always in my mind. And that's how Goddesses Lab also was a very easy transition that I always going to have a side job to, you know, to supplement my income. Anyways, so back in 2020, it was a very difficult time for all of us, as you all know. It was COVID. I got laid off. My mother also passed away that year, and everything changed. Everything changed, and the part of me of laying off was actually, I don't know how to, nobody will explain it perfectly in the sense of that loss that I put all my heart and self into a job, and then all of a sudden you lose it. I recently also was laid off in 2025 again, and that's when another shift happened, which is what we are right where I am right now. But after COVID, I remember that always ask myself, what would my mom want me to do? What would my mom would be proud for me to do? And that's how Goddesses Lab also was born, with the message from my mother, I guess, from above, and to make sure that she's proud of the things that I do. And that's how it started. But I have to say that a crystal business, like any other business, have their, you know, things to learn. Like vendors, what vendors are to learn. Like I said before, me and I think I would know every single crystal owner in that time, I would say 5 years ago, if I have to say it. I have a look up to, which is a crystal business that I buy my jewelry from all the time. And that was the only ones. But I knew very little in the sense that the vendors and who I need to contact for this and that. But the passion was there, and the mindset of moving forward was always there. And until today, even if if I have to choose a different path, I won't, but I would do a couple of things differently. So it will be a little bit of a shortcut. But I mean, that's nothing that you can will come up and that's it. For instance, when I got my first bad review, or not bad review, a difficult, I didn't have, I never had a bad review, but I did have someone that was not satisfied with my product. And I remember at first I was devastated. I was like, what did I did? What happened to this and this and that? But at the end, I know that it was just one person, but for some reason, and it was devastating in that moment. But at the end, for those who are in this business, especially, or any kind of business, whenever they have rejection or they have a something like this happen, can be very, very difficult. So thank goodness that I have mentors, I have customers and clients that love everything that I, presented. And I will continue doing it until the end of my days, because having a business of your own is not just having something to make money. In my opinion, is a legacy, building a legacy for your for your life in this earth. And why not do it in the things that you love to do? So that's the story of Goddesses Lab. And I will do it again, all over again, exactly the same. I think that I will still, like I said, do a little bit more preparation, but sometimes you just have to do it. I have doing it. Like, some mentors have taught me to do it. Sometimes you just have to finish it, and that's why I wanted to talk about it in this first episode. For those who are thinking to open a store, That's how I started. So don't think that even if you have even an MBA like myself, that you will be 100% ready. Nobody's 100% ready. There's going to be disappointment. Disappointment is part of your success, in my point of view. And I don't see disappointments as a bad thing anymore. I actually see it as a redirection or a lesson, one of those two. If it's something that I could have done better, why not? If it's nothing that I could have done better, what was the lesson to learn and move on? Because there's some things that is just going to happen and you just have to move on again. All right, I hope that this was inspiring to you whenever you're thinking to open a business or a shop in Etsy or Shopify. This is probably one of the most vulnerable times that I have said what happens when I open my store. And I hope that I will see you in my next episode. And I hope to see you in my socials. Please contact me. And I will see you soon. Thank you so much.